Trash Talk Radio, coming at you live on MP3 from high on a hill above beautiful Lake Washington. My name is Lestro, and with me as always is the Guru.
Yes sir, yes sir, yes sir, yes sir, yes sir, yes sir.
And you know how this goes. We're here to talk a little trash on the week's worth of sports. I don't know anybody except the Guru, and the Guru knows all.
Man, I know just a little something, man. Just a little something, man.
Guru, we are back, and it is episode number 70, and your favorite season is here. Check season. It's NFL's free agent is off and running, and the big names are choosing sides. AB goes to Oakland, OBJ goes to Cleveland, Foles goes to Jacksonville, and the Ravens are rebuilding their defense. So who's winning free agency so far? Guru's list may surprise you. Then, we missed the big Bryce Harper signing, but it's too big not to talk about. What does this mean for both teams? What does it mean for baseball? And can the Phillies build a super team? God, I hope so. Then, the Almanac is back for the campus check-in. This week, he was at the big Duke UNC game. He's going to talk about that, and then he's focused on the combine as he does a quarterback comparison for us between Kyler Murray and Dwayne Haskins. Plus, his combine winners and losers for this year. Plus, you know we're going to have some LeBron talk in the 2-minute drill. Guru, episode number 70.
Let's roll.
Guru, I actually forgot to get something going here because I was doing it. Hang on. You know when I say 2-minute drill, we got it. Here it is. I got it for you.
Oh, man.
Guru, good to see you, man. How you doing, brother?
Man, I'm living the dream. Don't you pinch me, man. Don't you pinch me.
Good to be back here after a couple weeks. Had a bit of a vacation myself. Got the wife and the baby down there to paradise for a little while. Took some time on the beach. Took some time away. Had a margarita and a pineapple.
Oh, man, this is a rated PG show.
Feeling a little better. I just got to say, feeling a little bit better after spending a week on the beach, man. I highly recommend it. Everybody just, if you can find somebody to fly you somewhere that has a beach, take it.
Oh, wait, okay. Is that what you, is that for AD?
Yeah, exactly. AD, if you're looking for a beach, man, I'll tell you what, you look stressed.
AD, Kawhi, Kyrie, and KD.
Yeah, you guys look a little stressed out. Hit a beach for a while. I think I know where I can find one. How you doing, man?
Man, I'm living the dream, man. I am living the dream, bro. I just chilled out, man.
You gotta be psyched here. Your favorite season is upon us.
Man, I'm telling you, I feel so excited right now. It's my favorite season. You know why? It's like just hold on, give me a second.
All right. Adam,
my bad.
Are we doing it live? We're checking it live because even
it's my favorite season now. I'm getting all the infos coming, all the sources.
Well, it is check season here, and free agency is going on, and Guru pulling an Adam Schechter and getting us some info live on the air as he's going through here. What do you got?
Oh man, hey, I got the Almanac just told me Kyler Murray is 5'10", baby.
5'10"? Take him number one. No, but seriously, Guru. I know you're watching free agency closely here.
Man.
We got a lot of big news to talk about because all of the big names have moved. In fact, one that we didn't expect to move has started. So before we get into the free agency, before we get into the signings, I want to start with the two big names, and those are the two wide receivers. Now, we knew AB was going to get out of Pittsburgh and hopefully out of his feelings, and the news came down that he goes to Oakland for like nobody, for like a third and a fifth. Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, on the other side, the big name to move is OBJ, Odell Beckham Jr. The Giants trade him to the Browns for like a first, a third, and Jaleel Peppers. So these are the two. Pick one and go.
Hey, it's funny how, right? You could have two Lamborghinis, one in Pennsylvania and one in New York. Which one do they pay more for?
The New York one. And the reason is because if you're out in Pittsburgh with your car, it's going to get salt all over it, and the value drops, man.
Oh, man. Obviously, a blockbuster move. We love
both of them.
Blockbuster move, and it was coming. We already saw that coming. AB with the situation that's been going on in Pittsburgh as well. That organization has been going through a lot of dramatic situation.
Yeah, this is a big year. You know what? Let's do OBJ first, because then we can talk about Pittsburgh as a whole, because we can come back to that.
Oh yeah, let's go do the catch. Let me just talk about the catch, because I'm just gonna call this guy the catch.
The catch. He is the catch now.
The catch.
Like what's his name? Like Embiid's the process. He's the catch.
He's the catch, because the only thing we know about him is just the catch. Let's just be honest. Odell is a great talent.
Yeah, Odell's got like 3 of those, the catches though. Like he's known for that reach back. He's got the helmet.
Is that what you want to be? Is that what you want to really be known for? Like, do you want to be known for processing, or do you want to be known for like Robert Horry for making buzzer beaters?
I'll tell you what, it's better than being known for dropping them. That's the key.
It's like, come on, he's known
pays better too.
He's known for the catch, not for winning the playoff catch or the Super Bowl catch.
That's true, because the catch is Dwight Clark.
Exactly. And then another catch is the dude from the Giant, the other Giant. He got more famous catch than Beckham, David Tyree.
Well, talk about this trade then. He's gone off to Cleveland for a first, a third, and Jaleel Peppers. New York, what is New York doing? This is their best player.
Dave Gettleman, the GM, the Mara family. Right now, nobody knows what they're doing. And I know an organization that don't know what they're doing, because I am a fandom of organization that don't know what they're doing.
Right.
So if I can see organization that don't know what they're doing,
right,
trust me, I see one that don't know what they're doing.
Anybody who's been watching Dan Snyder and the Redskins for as long as you have can see incompetence I
can smell Dave Gettleman's decision making skills. I'm like, whoa, this smells like such a Redskin type move.
Oh, the poor guy.
This smell like such an Oakland ass moves. There's certain things. Come on, man.
It's a Redskins type move. That's terrible.
Hey, I'm a fan. I love my Skins, but it is what it is.
I know.
It is what it is. So I think this is.
That's what it is.
The one thing I'm worried about there's a lot of high personalities in this locker room right now. And it's a very young core, and I got to see who the leadership is. I'm not sure.
You mean in Cleveland?
In Cleveland.
Yeah.
I'm not sure who Freddie Kitchen is, and obviously we're all going to find out as the process goes on. And I don't know about his resume being to that level as far as to take a locker room at that caliber and take them to the high point. Because coaching, we know what season, like I talked many times, it's 3 seasons.
Yeah.
There's the talent, there's the players, and then you have the coaches seasons.
Yep.
And then you have the check seasons. You know what I'm saying? So our Freddie Kitchen season, when that time comes, that's when we're really going to see what he could do.
But this actually opens up the AFC North, puts this into serious contention. This division had major moves already in this first week. We saw OBJ coming to Cleveland to play with Baker Mayfield, who in his own right is still a bit of an unknown. Mm-hmm. Came in and led them last year. Looks like the real deal. Mm-hmm. But you got to give him a couple years and see what happens. Mm-hmm. He's got a no-name coach, Freddie Kitchens.
Exactly.
We don't know what's going to happen there. I'll tell you what, though. I like this move from Cleveland. I think that getting a guy like this and going with it and just saying we got the best, we're going to run. Mm-hmm. I feel a little bit bad for OBJ because he's got to live in Cleveland, but at least he's got an NFL-level quarterback throwing to him again. You know what I mean? Because New York don't.
That is true. And OBJ with that check, trust me, man, he could get in a jet anywhere within an hour. So
That's not far.
He's not worried about that. Remember, he was in New York doing our playoff week, and he was in South Beach.
Yeah, he's selling a place in South Beach either way.
So don't worry about OBJ and his trivels over in Cleveland.
He'll be all right. He'll have a nice warm pad in Cleveland. He can pay for heat.
And I think he fits actually with what we did see a little bit of OBJ's style. He's a great deep route runner. He's a great deep ball thrower. And then Baker Mayfield is a great deep ball thrower. He's a very accurate deep ball thrower. So I could see that. And now what Cleveland do have is elements as far as their passing game. They have an intermediate passing guy as far as Landry. They have somebody who could take care of the middle with their tight end in Njoku. Mm-hmm. And now they have somebody who's a high elite caliber, one of the best in the league to take the cap off the offense. So systematically, they have a key talent in every element to be successful, as well as the running game. They do have the Kareem Hunt, who is suspended for 6 but will be back.
Yeah, he'll be back.
They have Nick Chubb, who had a hell of a rookie year. So, and one thing I got to mention, Cleveland got one of the best offensive line in the NFL. It's very underrated. You know, I love my O-line.
Absolutely. You love the guys in the trenches.
Exactly. And Cleveland got one of the high elite level core group offensive line. So altogether, as my favorite quote, talent wins games. Chemistry wins championship.
If these guys can get together and make it happen, I think Cleveland sets themselves up here to look good, especially when you look at what happens at what should have been their biggest rival, which is Pittsburgh, who has lost the two big name players, two of their major players and two of their best players, as Antonio Brown gets traded to Oakland, and Le'Veon Bell finds his way to the Jets. Let's start with Antonio Brown, because it looked like he was going to go to the Bills, which seems like the right move if you want to punish a wide receiver is you send him to Buffalo. And it looked like that's what they wanted to do. And then going to Oakland for a third and a fifth. This seems like a giveaway for Antonio Brown.
It's kind of funny, right?
Especially after you look at the OBJ trade.
I remember going to Oakland is also a punishment.
A little bit. Can be.
Come on, man. I mean, Randy Moss, we got a bunch of guys I could say. Going to Oakland is, you always look for the sucker organizations in the free agent market. That's just what it is. That's when you see the high caliber GMs.
Yeah, but in this question, who's the sucker organization? Because Pittsburgh still takes the cap hit, and they got nothing for a guy who's universally regarded as one of the best in the game.
Overall aspect of thing, Pittsburgh win this matchup. You know, I think overall in the long term, Pittsburgh's going to win because what you look at it at, the way I look at it, Pittsburgh is reverting back to what they really are, their core principle as an organization, what they need to be. They went away from that. You know, they went away from that with the AB situations, the LB, the Le'Veon Bells. So they changed their identity. I could see them now coming back to what they used to be as far as having Le'Veon's backup. I can't think.
Connor.
What's
James Conner?
Conner, exactly. Who's more of a Pittsburgh style. We know his story.
Yeah, he's a head down sort of shoulder first runner.
He fits that model. And then you have Juju Smith. He was on Pittsburgh. He got that. He could block. He could catch. He's a tough Pittsburgh Steel City type of mentality guy. So I could see Pittsburgh winning in the long term because they're reverting back to their core culture and what it's all about, the team kind of chemistry. And Big Ben leading that. As much as what you could say about Ben or not, he's still Big Ben, and he still get the ball out there.
It amazes me that he's as good as he is for as long as he is. I like to, because he's a Steeler, obviously, I like to pretend that he's not that great, but the truth is Big Ben actually knows what he's doing out there. So then addition by subtraction is what you're thinking for the Steelers.
Great math, baby. Great math for Steelers.
So then talk about the other signing here, Le'Veon Bell to the Jets. Now, Le'Veon sat out the year. AB broke with the team in week 17 and didn't play. Le'Veon sat out the whole year because he was trying to get that big check, forfeited $14.5 million last year. Now he signs with the Jets for 4 years, $52 million, I think it was. Is this a win for Le'Veon Bell?
Hey, let me just repeat that. 4 years, $52 million is just a win.
Yeah, but I mean, 4 years, $52 million is less than he gave up last year when he thought he was when he was betting on himself and gave up 14
million.
He didn't get it, you know. And so what's the?
So then it's like, look at this. Hey man, I took a year off of my job and I came back and I got a 4-year deal and $52 million.
Okay, and obviously a year off will help a running back.
Exactly. So overall, I think this decision, money wise, I'll say they broke even. I don't think it was a win-loss situation. I'll say this was a push. It was a break even money-wise.
Okay.
But I think as far as Le'Veon feeling what he feel-wise, as far as feeling peaceful, coming home, you know, it's different. You know, just feeling that like I'm wanted, I'm this guy here, I think that made Mans a little bit better than the money-wise as far as what we think he was really going to get.
And see, I can see that. I can see that it's worth giving up, you know.
For happiness.
For the happiness and for the ease and for the peace of mind and all that. I don't know if $14 million is enough to give up for that. That's a big number, but again, I'm not making that. And then the next question here is, he went to the Jets. The Jets, Guru?
Dude, are you serious? And what we talked about this throughout the week, man, you off air, hey, Le'Veon is a serious artist. Like, he's not just, I'm an athlete trying to be an artist. He's seriously into, he's an artist. His mixtape, you know, I got to give him credit as a rapper. Yeah. He's a musician. He's an artist.
He's a musician, yeah.
You know, so because sometimes when people say rapper and be the athlete, they try to make it's kind of comical.
Right.
So you got to see
we're not talking about Shaq putting out a record because he can.
Or Kobe, you know.
Yeah.
So he's a real artist, and I like how what he did with his market. As soon as he signed this deal, his mixtape came in at the same time, so that was kind of cute of him. I'm like,
right, drop it right on it.
That was witty.
A good marketing plan.
And think about it. You are in one of the hip hop mecca is New York City. So we joke around a little bit now. Le'Veon is going to sit out one more year to see who's going to pick him up between Jay-Z or Diddy, right?
Rocker bad boy.
Rocker bad boy,
right.
man.
Who's going to put the franchise tag on him?
It worked the first time, baby. Do it the second time, baby.
So now we got a couple more of these to hit before we talk about the winners and losers here. I especially want to talk about in the AFC North still the Ravens. The Ravens signed Earl Thomas, and they've been building up their defense, and Ingram gets over there as well. Ravens, they lose Weddle to the Rams, pick up two other guys. How does this look for Baltimore?
It's the culture, like just what you do. We all know certain teams, every great organization have identity. They have a culture. They have a brand, just like every other brand. Like every great brand have identity. You know what they are.
Right.
Yes, you could evolve to certain things. You could assimilate to certain ways, but you know their core competency. And the Ravens' core competency is the defensive side
overwhelming
of the
defense.
ball.
The Ravens brand is defense.
Mm-hmm. And they're going right back to the competency, what they know best, which is we're going to suffocate you on defensive side of the ball. And we're going to get one of the best defensive player in the free agency, in the NFL. And the best eraser of my generation, I'm talking about Earl Thomas. And I just think it's amazing. It's a great pickup. It's a Ravens pickup.
It's a good pickup for them.
It's a Ravens pickup.
Huge loss for Seattle in there. They'll find a way through, I'm sure. But a great pickup for the Ravens and restacking them.
Mm-hmm.
And the Ravens also, again, speaking of addition by subtraction, no longer have to worry about Joe Flacco. Get him out of there and trade him, which we'll get to in a second. Before we leave the AFC North, though, Bengals didn't do shit, by the way. Before we leave the AFC North, who wins this division? Who do you like? Who's the early favorite based on?
The Ravens.
You think it's the Ravens?
Mm-hmm.
With Lamar Jackson.
It's more Jim Harbaugh and my trusted culture of the organization. I've seen that before. I'm going just like last year.
Yep.
When they were fighting, their culture and organization got them to the playoff. So I see that replicating itself once again.
All right. So speaking of Joe Flacco, has found his way amazingly to another starting position in Denver. The worst quarterback GM in football, John Elway, traded Case Keenum to your Redskins and brought in Joe Flacco. First question, is this an improvement for Elway? Is this an improvement for the Broncos?
Of course, that's what you do. When you want to sucker, so you always look. There's certain organizations, the last 10, 20 years you go to when you need to throw away shit. When shit hit your fan as a good organization, you call Dan Snyder, you call Mark Davis, you know what I'm saying? There's just certain things you just do. It's just natural. Everybody does it, you know?
So the shit in this one is obviously throwing away Case Keenum, who finds his way to the Redskins for the injured Alex Smith.
Get him out there. It's like, look, who's going to take this we made a mistake. How are we going to get rid of this? Oh, shoot, Danny, how you doing? There you go, Dan. Boom, thank you. Hey, Dan Snyder, you want another Kirk Cousin? Basically, you know what the Redskins are doing is like ring around the cousins. You know, it's like they let Kirk Cousin go and trying to get 3 other Kirk Cousins.
So then my question for you is, as a Redskins fan,
Nah, we just got a case.
You just got a case.
We just caught a case, and we don't like catching cases in D.C.
No, man,
that's federal, baby.
You catch a case in D.C., you find
that's feds, baby.
You best go underground. All right, so what about Denver? Good pickup for Denver.
Great pickup. This is what the Broncos are looking for, man. They got a core young team. I love this one part about Elwood that he did well last year's draft. He has a great his skill position. All rookies as far as the receiving core. The running backs are rookies. He's going to have a veteran like Joe Flacco to come in, help those guys elevate to the next level. So and they have an outstanding offensive line. You know how I feel about the O-line. That's always how you dominate. O-line, D-line will always make you be a 9-7 minimum team in this NFL. You have an above-average O-line. You have an above-average D-line. You will be 8-8, 9-7. And if you have a quarterback that could tie his shoelace without freaking falling on himself, could get you 10 wins. And that's what I see Denver Broncos have with Joe Flacco.
Now, speaking of quarterback that can get you 10 wins and, knows what he's doing, the team that needed that the most, in my opinion, last year and over the past couple seasons is Jacksonville. I love to pick on Blake Bortles. Well, Blake Bortles ain't the starter in Jacksonville anymore. They picked up Big Dick Nick Foles, who went on the free agency market. So I got to ask you about this pickup. How do you like Nick Foles, who's now getting paid more than like Russell Wilson and with a big contract? Is this a good move for Jacksonville?
Yeah, man, because you know why? Because Nick Foles got a Super Bowl MVP, a Super Bowl victory like Russell Wilson and those guys. So, yeah, of course, man.
See,
Joe Flacco did it. Why can't Nick Foles do it?
Yeah, Trent Dilfer did it back in the day.
The thing is, I think it's a good situation for Jacksonville to not be a consistent bottom tier team. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, this is one thing I gotta ask people. I love Nick Foles, but how many Super Bowls do you think you could squeeze out of Nick Foles? Like, let's just be honest. How many of them could you squeeze out of this guy?
Great backup quarterback. The question is, will he be able to lead this team? Because what he goes into is a lot less than he had in Philly when he made those runs. The O-line's not nearly as good. The receiving core is not nearly as good as it was in Philly, as it is in Jacksonville. Can they squeeze something? I mean, this is another team basically built on defense. If he's a competent quarterback, can they make something happen?
That's what I mean. It's just certain guys like Brett Favre only got one Super Bowl. He's a Hall-time legend,
right?
Aaron Rodgers probably only going to have one. Russell Wilson might only have. It's hard to freaking get to the Super Bowl multiple times, bro.
Yeah.
Nick Foles already got it there. He already got his. So the odds of me saying this is a move to win a Super Bowl, I don't see that. I think this is a move for you to be not in a bottom tier and be competitive.
It's a playoff move.
Yes.
Yeah.
Competitive, yes. But I think that Super Bowl juice, the Eagles squeezed all of that.
Maybe, but I'll tell you what, you get him into playoffs, it's hard not to think Nick Foles is going to do something exciting.
Put it like this. It's in the AFC, there's a different guy you got to go against, man. I know he beat him. I know he beat him. But this time he's in Jacksonville.
Speaking of that, let's
Marone.
Let's wrap up this free agency talk with your winners of the who won free agency. Because my guess is it's the Patriots, because Bill Belichick was vacationing through this whole thing, didn't even seem to notice free agency was happening.
Of course.
But aside from the Patriots, who wins this one?
Excluding the Patriots, man, I got 4 great winners in this team, man. And let me just tell you a little bit about the free agent season. What I love about the free agent season is it tells you about the front office. To me, this is what shows. This is a showcase of your executives, of your GMs. This showcase as a franchise is: do you have the guy at hand you're gonna cheer for, that your team's gonna have a long, sustainable winning or history? That's what this time is consists of, because
it's the vision.
Yes, it shows that vision you guys have as a CEO of your organization. So, and it's not about the big moves. They're great teams. Look at this. This is another thing. Every team that made the playoff last year, every team did make the blockbuster move. Because this is not about the blockbuster move. It's about filling that hole for that player that fits your culture and fits your team that's already there. Because talent wins games. Chemistry wins championships. So now it goes to this top 4. My 4th team that I think did a great job, the team that didn't make the playoff last year, the ATL. I thought Atlanta did a great job. They got Kenyon Barner. They left Tevin Coleman. He's now in San Francisco. So they brought another similar back with him, with Kenyon Barner, with a little bit less mileage. And also one thing I like about them, they were very soft up front as far as the guards. So they signed 2 guards, Damon Brown and James Carpenter, to make sure they clog up that middle. I love that. And they franchised probably their best defensive player in Grady Jarrett.
The team no one's talking about, the Atlanta Falcons. Guru says they're the number 4 for winning so far in free agency.
I love what they're doing there. I love what the Falcons did. I love it.
Who else is winning the offseason so far?
Another team to me that's winning the offseason, man, is we just talked about it, is the Baltimore Ravens.
Really?
Oh, man. We always
you like us. You picked them to win the North already.
Obviously. So. I love what they did with, as far as E.T. I think Earl Thomas is one of the best eraser we've seen in the game.
Absolutely.
First, he's going to walk into the Hall of Fame. I love Mark Ingram. Just when I talk about fitting the culture of a team, Mark Ingram is a Raven. He's not a New Orleans Saints. That's Alvin Kamara. All right, Mark Ingram, when you talk about it, Mark Ingram, he is from Alabama. He's a Baltimore Ravens. He fits the whole mold. That is a Raven. So I love that they're going to inject that into that organization. And I love with the tight end, Nick Doyle. I think that's another sneaky pick. because when you have a young quarterback, they got to go get the safety net. And Nick Doyle, sneaky organizational pick of needs. And I think that's why I got the Ravens over this. My third best team as far as winning it.
All right, not a team you hear in the tops often. Who else you got winning?
No, and then, your guy. I think the Eagles did an outstanding job. I love what the Eagles did. They re-signed Ronald Darby, their best defensive back. I think that was very good. And they just did a lot of in-house. They kept Brandon Graham. They got Deshaun Jackson. They got a guy. We know what Deshaun is. We got a guy that can fly. Carson Wentz likes to throw the ball deep.
Another deep threat.
And historically, they tried to get deep guy with Torrey Smith, other guys that didn't work out. But we know Deshaun Jackson is an NFC East killer. We know he's bona fide. So I love that. And
you see him playing himself on Madden with Carson Wentz now on his team this week. I love that. D-Jack, welcome back to Philly, man.
D-Jack, man. And I love that they replaced Michael Bennett with Malik Jackson.
I take back all the shit I talked when you were a Redskin. And that's my question for you is losing Michael Bennett. That seems like the kind of guy you want to keep. But you say bringing in Jackson.
Malik Jackson, you guys might know him more from the Denver Broncos. He was part of that team that won the Super Bowl, that dominant defense, the Mile High defense. And he went to Jacksonville when it became Saxonville. He was a big contributor there. So I think him coming there, leading next to your boy at D-tackle, oh my gosh, man.
Fletcher Cox?
Oh my God, that is going to be one of the dominant.
I like the way you're talking.
And then,
okay, so that's Atlanta. We got Atlanta, we got Baltimore, and we got Philly. These are not the people you might think. I always hear the Browns won this, but who wins the offseason so far?
And this is a big year for your guy. Your Aaron, the second best Aaron, the Green Bay Packers did an outstanding job of filling holes, man. They got one of the sneakiest DB. You know I love my safeties, man. Adrian Amos over there in Green Bay. I love that. They've solidified that with Ha being gone, so they got an upgrade with that. I love they picked up a former Redskin, a young guy, Preston Smith. He's a 26-year-old edge rusher, mixing with Zadarius Smith from the Baltimore Ravens. So they got two, I would call them second tier, but guys that have high motors. They're going to always try to get to the quarterback. So that's going to be needed because the Packers were a little bit shorthanded as far as that department. So I'm really, really looking forward to that as far as the Packers, man. So I think Green Bay definitely did an outstanding job. They stayed low-key. They got high-level, high-caliber character, energy players, chemistry players that is going to gel together that I could see Green Bay with Aaron Rodgers really do something next year.
So there is a Green Bay Packers and the second best Aaron winning the offseason so far, says Guru. All right, man. Well, we'll see what happens. I suppose we go to. I still think I love that the Eagles are in there, and I am also looking forward to seeing how the big names shake out, where they land, where they do. All right, let's make a quick transition here. Before we do, let's remind people that they can find Trash Talk Radio everywhere you can find podcasts. We're on Apple, we're on Google, we're on Spotify, and make sure you head over to the World of Sports Network YouTube page. Head over to YouTube, search for World of Sports Network, subscribe and get all the great content. We got TTR, we got The Wash, we got the Barbershop Sports, all kinds of great stuff. Our Bets with Ben has moved over there from the Currency Kings. Ben from the Currency Kings is over on there as well. So, Guru, we are running out of time here in the first segment. I know we got a hard out today and we got some other stuff to do. But before we get off this free agent thing, the biggest free agent signing of all of them actually happened while we were on vacation. My phone blew up when Bryce Harper signed with the Philadelphia Phillies for 13 years and $330 million. This is biggest signing for the Phillies, I would say, ever.
In North America.
Yeah, it's a monster signing, and the biggest contract. But as far as the overall number, the value for the Phillies is really well. So I know this affects both our teams, man. So I thought we'd talk about this a little bit here because it affects your DC, the Nationals. So let me just start by saying I know I've said some terrible things about Bryce Harper in the past, about how he has that douchebaggy beard,
he's a douche,
and he's a douchebaggy and no leadership, and I'm sorry, Bryce. Please hit a lot of home runs for the Phillies. I got to come to terms with this, and I'll tell you, I've been warming to the idea, Guru, of having the best player on the Phillies, and I gotta warm up to it because this guy is gonna be on my team until I retire. At 13 years on the Philadelphia Phillies, Lil Lestro is gonna be in high school by the time this contract is out. I'm telling you, I can't imagine. He's a year now. He'll be in high school by the time this contract is up. His whole life, he will only know Bryce Harper as a Philadelphia Philly. And if I want him to like this team, I can't be down on it. And I'll tell you what, it's exciting. My initial reaction was probably a shrug. Like, all right, fine, it was inevitable. I guess we got him. But the more I think about it, the more exciting it is to have a bat like Bryce Harper's in the lineup for the Phillies. This gives them a win on the offseason as far as I'm concerned. They were a team to talk about winning the baseball offseason beforehand, picking up all-stars Andrew McCutchen, all-star Gene Segura, all-star JT Realmuto.
And now to finish it up with the Golden Boy.
Now you're bringing Bryce Harper.
Man, you getting the Golden Boy. It's kind of funny. The feeling you had, that's the feeling we had when he first got to us.
I know.
When he was a young prospect, killing it, and then they finally got the call up there. And then, oh, man, the Rookie of the Year, MVP Bryce. Yep. And now Bryce is a different situation we got over here, man. The guru, man. You see that? Hey, all that little home run thing I did for you, all that little shout out I gave you, nah, man. It's nah. You went to the enemy now, buddy. You went to the nemesis, buddy. So for 13 damn years, you will got booed more than any Halloween. You get booed more than any Halloween. You get booed.
You get booed in Philly, too. Don't you worry about it. I'm setting the over-under at like April 16th.
You might as well change your name to a ghost, dog, because you're going to be booed. Just walk around. Instead of Bryce Harper, you're going to be booed.
Well, this is a great contract for the Phillies standpoint. It's a long one, 13 years, but at only 26 years old, this will get all of his prime, and by the time he's deteriorating, the money starts to come off on this one. So you don't have him really hitting the big the big contracts at the end. Which, by the way, my favorite fact of this is that this is a long contract, 13 years. When Bryce Harper's contract ends, the Mets will still be paying Bobby Bonilla for 4 more years.
Oh, my God.
4 more years after Bryce Harper's contract is up, the Mets will still be paying Bobby Bonilla. So let's just keep in mind.
Bobby B, dog. Who's his agent, man?
Brilliant. I don't know who it is.
Man,
but that
whoever his agent, he's the best agent
that guy,
of all time.
call me. I got to talk. I got to get some tips. But it's a great contract. It's the average value at about $25 million a year is a good deal for the Phillies.
We could have done that for him in the cast. I mean, in Nats.
Probably.
We could have done that.
And now, and of course, Citizens Bank Park is his favorite hitting park that's not in Washington. He really performs there. More home runs in CBP than any other park other than Washington, of course, other Nationals Park. So excited to see him hit there.
Hey, addition by subtraction, man. We're excited for him to go, man. One thing I like about him going is it's like when you have such a mega star like that, it kind of handicap your organization because you have to pamper him, you have to please him. It's like there's also that extra step you have to make sure he's all right. So I think him not being in that organization right now our young guys could gel. I love Soto over there. So
Juan Soto.
Exactly. Yep. So I think now just the fact that we don't have to worry about that pressure of pleasing Bryce. Now I think we could play more loose, and I expect the Nats really because of the Bryce situation to us and our rivalry that's going to be. It's already a rivalry.
Definitely
but now it's just going to be even filthy, and I expect the Nats to have a heck of a season this season, man. I expect the Nats to really to have a hell of a season.
We talked about addition by subtraction earlier, and I as much as I like that Phillies lineup, they got 5 all-stars, 5 all-stars in the first 5 hitters. With it'll go McCutchen, Segura. McCutchen, hasn't been an all-star since 2015, but we're gonna pretend we'll call it. He's got Andrew McCutchen, Gene Segura, Bryce Harper, Rhys Hoskins, and JT Realmuto.
Oh my God,
that lineup is amazing. Gabe Kapler starts the season on the hot seat in Philadelphia, but I agree with you. I actually think with Harper out of the lineup there in D.C., they're not going to be looking to rely on him. They're not going to be counting on him. And it gives the rest of the guys a chance to play. They pick up Patrick Corbin.
You like that.
I love that. Pitching wins games, especially in the postseason. And so that is a huge pickup for the Nationals. Strengthens their rotation with the Scherzer, Strasburg, Corbin. That is, you don't want to face that. That's 3 of the 5 best pitchers in the National League, or 6 best pitchers in the National League. You don't want to worry about that. But I'm going to say that the NL East this year belongs to the Nationals, and I'm going to say that because I want to keep my expectations low.
And as a Nats fan, we've been hearing that for the last 5 years.
Right, and that's the thing. That's the question. Is whose fault was that? Was it Strasburg's? The curse of Strasburg or the curse of Bryce?
Exactly.
All right, well, Guru, we're getting the highs on. We are out of time here in the first segment, so let's take a quick break. We're going to come back with the almanac for the campus check-in in segment 2. You know we got a 2-minute drill to go out on, and we'll be right back. Trash Talk Radio.
TTR.